a new teaching authority. I don't know how many of you here love authority. How many? There we are. We have 1, 2. How many of you here love power? High position. Good payment. I have to say, this is a true story, that when I was ordained to the diaconate, which is a deacon, they call it transitional deacon. You have to be a deacon first, and 6 months later to a year, you will be ordained to the priesthood. And so, I remember when I was a deacon in Chicago, I preached, like I preach today. I didn't feel any power. My teaching, my preaching is no authority. I didn't feel anything. It's like dry like a desert. But when I was ordained to the priesthood in Houston, actually the priesthood here in New Orleans, but I worked in Houston in a parish like this, my whole posture, my whole energy, confidence, you name it, changed. Just like that. I no longer saw me as an English as a second language, no more Vietnamese, Asian, young priest, just do it. And so after the homily, amen, said that. But you could feel it. Today, just imagine that young man, 30 years old, Jesus Christ, walked through the door, entering the synagogue. He's not a official scribe. He's not an official like teacher, because you have to go through seminary to be the scribe. He was not an official scribe. But somehow, when he taught or when he spoke up, people could feel it. Even the unclean spirit recognized this man. What are you doing? Are you coming here to destroy us? I know who you are. You are the Holy One of God. Now, did you hear the language of the unclean spirit? We call now evil and demon and all that. It's about destruction. It's about winner and loser. It's about division. It's about bullying. It's about whatever language you want to use. But Jesus just flipped it over. Quiet. Come out with him. My brothers and sisters, we live in a world today that's so much that kind of language. The language of blaming, the language of sarcastic, the language of division, the language of whatever. If we're not careful though, we will carry that language and that kind of speech, authority, teaching, even evangelization around us. Today we are disciples of Jesus. We are sons and daughters of God. We have to speak a different language. We have to use a different authority. And we say, what authority, Father? I want to introduce 3 things come from Jesus that I believe we speak with that authority. First, he knows and he believes that he is the Son of God. He is a true human and a true divine. That alone already gives you so much power. You don't need a lot of ordination. You do not a lot of motivation from outside and on hand to do that. If we each know that we are born, created in the image and likeness of God, we have a lot of power. And the power to talk, to speak, to tell, the second one called the truth. If you speak the truth, people listen to you. If you speak from your own experience, genuine experience, people will listen to you. Yes? But if you make it up, and if you didn't prepare and you put a show, people know too. Even students know what's going on. You know, today when I see my students or my teachers playing games, watching social media on their smartphone while they're teaching, or even in the hallway. That bugs me. That gives me a lot of red flag there. What are you doing here? Playing games, watching news or whatever in front of your students? That is not presenting who you are and what you're truthful doing here. You know what I'm talking about? When I was a mechanic, this is before seminary, and we didn't have a lot of calls coming in, so I was sitting there doing nothing. And back then, we didn't have even cell phone yet. My boss said, you have to find something to do. You can't just sit there and do nothing. Wash your tools, organize your tools. And so that's what I'm talking about. Sometimes that we don't do what we're supposed to do. And the third thing that I think is very important, a teacher, a preacher who teaches with authority has to heal. The language, the message of healing. You see, when Jesus healed this unclean spirit guy, he recognized the difference between sinner and sin. He cast out demon, unclean spirit, but that man after that, he's still in the assembly with the whole. A lot of times we cast out demon and then we destroy the man too. You know what I'm talking about? A lot of times we don't see the difference between their mistake and the person who did that mistake. A lot of times we even don't remember where that mistake came from, and we just condemn the person. Jesus does not come to condemn, but to save us, to heal us, to embrace us, to give us another chance to go and celebrate our life. And that is the authority of bringing people together, healing people, celebrating their lives together. And so today, my brothers and sisters, if we have this plea in our teaching, in our daily practice, I believe whatever you say, people will listen. They not listen by their ears, but they listen by their eyes. Today, my young people, they don't listen with their ears. They're playing games while we're talking to them, but they know. They know our example, our action. And Jesus preached with his action, his love, his forgiveness, his healing, his mercy. And so, as we celebrate Catholic School Week, I'd like to invite you to pray together, help each other, especially for our young generation today. Because they lost so many times because they don't have good direction. And a lot of times they don't see the authority, the confidence, the truthfulness, the engagement, the dedication from their own teachers or even their own parents. And so let us be like Jesus today. Teach with the authority of love, the authority of humility, of service, dedication, and healing.